Hello my friends, welcome to my channel where I make Affinity fun and easy to learn. In this video, I'm going to be talking about pencil tool. For a more in-depth and practical analysis and a structural video where I use the pencil tool, check out these videos here. I created these logos using the pencil tool, so you can check it. And of course, if you want a more practical aspect. Now I'm going to be very basic inside of this video. All right. So let's start off here. So I have my document ready. This is a 1920 by 1080. It's not as if you should have this, but this is what I'm going to be working on for this video. So to start with, the pencil tool is here. So just like the name pencil tool is just like a small pencil. Now it is docked alongside with the part brush and the knife tool, which we'll be talking about later on. So click the pencil tool, and when you click the pencil tool, you can see that it has its own settings here, just like the pen tool. So now to start with, you can see that it has the stroke color here. So by default, I like working on using the black stroke. So when you draw this, you can see that the color is black. So you can change this here to any color you want. Let's say you want a red stroke, right? You can change this here, but by default, I like changing using the black color here. So by default, if you don't see this, you can use the colors, which you can choose any color here, for example, or you can use the gradient, or you can use your hatch pattern. But I love using the swatches. It makes life easy. So I can just click the black color, and this is the color of my pencil. So that is the first thing, picking a color. Now moving on, the next thing is to determine the width of your pencil, right? So when you come up here, you can either increase this here. You can see that as you go up, the widths are kind of increasing. So you can have, if I draw this and I click out and I go and let's say I want to draw another one, I can click on this and increase the width, and you can see with more width, you can see that it's increasing. So you can change the width here. By default, I love using a width somewhere around here or somewhere around here, depending on what you want to achieve. So you can also draw like with your pencil tool and also change the width here. And even so, you can change the color of the width. So you can come here, or you can double click here. Oops. Let me put this back. Okay, so I fixed that back. Double clicking on it fixes that back. So you can change the color of the width, just like I said. You just have to have it selected. You can come here. Let's come here and change the color like this. And you can change it to a red color, or you can change it using the wheel here, right? So that's for the width. Let me just highlight all of this and delete it, and going back to my pencil tool. So you can change the width of the stroke here, and you can also change the color. Let me change the color back to a black color and use this. All right. Now here you have some other settings, like you can also change the width here if you don't change it here, and you can change between the part brush. Of course, you can choose to use as a part brush or a dash line. I talked about that in the pen tool. That's my last video. And you can also use it for a solid line. Whichever style you want, you can use it. So this is what you have currently, because I have a 5.5 width. So I'm going to delete this. I'm going to delete this like this. And this is what I'm going to have. So like I said, you can change the stroke here like this. Okay, so you can change all of the settings here, and you can use your desired settings, right? So moving on, let's quickly move on to the rest of the things. So I'm going to talk about the smoothness before I talk about the toggle scope mode, right? So you can see that by default, my smoothness is set to 34. So that's why I'm having all of these lines that are not close to being perfect, right? You can see here you have a very sharp edge, right? But when I shift this, when I let me toggle this. Let me click out of this. All right. Let me click out of this and go back to my pencil tool, and I shift this to 100. I love using 100. Now, if you watch all of these videos, like these videos where I use to create these logos, you can see that my smoothness is set to 100. So select this, select the pen tool, and you can click and you can draw. You can see as you're drawing, you can see that it smoothens off the lines. You can see that you have your curves. You can see that this part, you can see how curved it is, right? You can also use your node after you finish drawing a line to smoothen things up very well, right? By using the anchor point, you can smoothen things out the way you want it to be. Clicking on a point, you can also use the curve to smooth adjustment here. And of course, you have what you have, right? So it's a better alternative to drawing curved lines and all of those things that gives you that smooth feel that you want, right? So I'm just going to select this. Now, to keep things selected, make sure this is ticked. Now, this is what I mean. For example, when I draw something like this, automatically it's going to keep it selected. But when I toggle this off like this, if I draw a line, you can see it's not going to stay selected. So you can easily draw several lines and you're not going to have it selected like this, right? But if you want to make sure things are selected, make sure you have this checked on, right? So we've talked about the smoothness. Let's talk about stabilizer. Now, stabilizer is good, especially when you're using when you're using an iPad or you're using a mouse, for example. Most times I use a mouse. Now you have this control at the base, right? You can see that there's a line there. There's a line between your pen and all of these things. Now this is the work of the stabilizer. You can see that when I turn this off, let me turn this off and I draw, you can see that I don't have any lines there. So it's just giving me all of this. There's no stability in what I'm drawing, right? But with the help of, let me select everything. With the help of the stabilizer, let me click on the pencil tool and turn on this. Now with the help of the stabilizer, you have like a guide, you understand? So especially when you're tracing, like I did in some other videos where I used to trace logos. So you can see clearly where you are going and you can actually have it traced out for you. So if you've not watched this video, go watch out this video. So you have two types of, let me delete this. You have two kinds of stabilizer. You have the rope mode. Now the rope mode, in the rope mode, when you're using the rope mode, it's quite different. You can see that the rope is, the distance between what you are drawing and the pencil is quite far. But when you are using the window mode, you can see that the distance between what you are drawing is not quite far. So it depends on what actually works for you. But the window mode can become a rope mode when you are going at fast speed. You can see what I'm actually doing here. You can see how much longer this is, right? So it comes down to preference. So it depends on what you want and how you want to use it, right? So you can either choose between the rope mode or the window mode, right? Of course, you can change the window size, but by default, I love using 25, right? Now, let's talk about the toggle sculpt mode. Now, for an instance, you have a shape here. And you have, let's just say I have some other ones here like this. Now I can decide that I don't want this to go all the way up here. I'm going to click on the toggle sculpt mode and I can just draw from this part here, still with this selected, and I change the trajectory of this and you can see it's going this way. Or I can decide to select this one. Make sure you have it selected. You can select this and go over to your pen tool, and with this mode I can decide to change the direction like this. And of course, you can see that I have changed the direction, right? You can also change the direction this way. Maybe I want something like this. You can have this. You can see how simple it is. So if you've drawn a part and you want to change the direction, simple, you use what? The toggle sculpt mode, right? Now to get smooth parts, like I said, you can use your node to select the parts, and of course, you can also like change the direction of the stroke that you've created using the pencil tool. So the pencil tool comes in handy for if you are a brand identity designer, your logo designer. Of course, you just want to use Affinity as a hobby to design and to make flyers also. I'll talk about this, where I use this to create lines for my flyers and all of the things. If you've enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and you subscribe to my channel. I'll see you in the next video. If you have any question, make sure to drop them in the comment section. Ciao.
With over 1,000 premium fonts, over 100 high-quality PSD flyer templates, over 700 icons, over 3,000 premium stock photos, 3,000 plus high-resolution backgrounds, 1,000 plus 3D and PNG assets, editable PSD templates, and lots more. If you're a creative designer, UI, UX, or web designer, the Smart Designer's graphics assets will make your life much more easier.